These are the brand new LEGO Smart Play sets, powered by the new Smart Brick. And if you've been following LEGO news recently, you've already probably heard a lot of very negative reactions to them. As usual on this channel, I'll try to look at it with an open mind and give a fair review. Is this something that will bring LEGO sets to the next level? Or will it fail and be buried like some other LEGO experiments? And the most important question for me, does it have any value for adult LEGO fans? But before we start, I'd like to make a very important remark. Today, I am not reviewing the builds themselves, because I find it quite pointless. It's very obvious that these smart playsets are made for children. They are not made for Star Wars purists who value small details and accuracy above everything else in LEGO sets. With that in mind, let's begin. The new LEGO Smart Play system is based on two major components, a smart brick and a smart tag. The smart brick is the central component with a processor and multiple sensors inside. It has the footprint of a 2x4 LEGO brick, but it's 2 plates taller than a standard LEGO brick. The brick contains a battery inside, which is charged wirelessly using a special yellow charger. The smart brick changes its behavior depending on the smart tag nearby, which is essentially an RFID tag hidden inside a 2x2 red tile or a special smart minifigure. Here is how it works. You place a smart tag near the smart brick, and the smart brick understands what object is nearby. Then it starts one of many pre-programmed interaction scenarios, such as synthesizing sounds and controlling multicolor LED lights. Apart from smart tags, the brick also uses an accelerometer and a color sensor, which means it can be triggered by a LEGO element of a certain color or by specific types of movements. There is also an app for smart bricks, but currently all it does is control the volume of the loudspeaker inside the brick. There are no other features yet. So it really is a display-free toy. You don't actually need a phone to play with it. The smart brick can potentially be used in any LEGO theme, but LEGO decided to test it first in the Star Wars theme. I chose 3 sets out of 8 available Smart Play sets, and the first thing you need to know about them is that there are 2 types of sets: Smart Play All-in-One sets and Smart Play Compatible sets. A Smart Play All-in-One set contains at least one smart brick, a charger for the brick, and at least one smart tag or a smart minifigure. A Smart Play compatible set contains only smart tags and smart minifigures, but no smart brick inside. So when you buy a compatible set, you already need to have a Smart Play all-in-one set in order to unlock the full play potential. As I mentioned, I picked 3 sets and tried to choose them wisely so that I could experience all possible play scenarios of this system. I picked Red 5 Luke's X-Wing to test vehicle play based on movement. I picked the Mos Eisley Cantina to try out scenario-based interactions inside the building, and the Throne Room Arena to experience lightsaber battles. Now, the movement feature is probably the most interesting gimmick of the Smart Play system. In this scenario, the smart brick reacts to movement, rotation, vibration, and specific colors. This means you can tilt the model, move it around, and special colored elements, like the red petals in the X-Wing, can trigger sounds such as laser cannons firing. There is also an interaction between 2 smart bricks. If you shoot a turret or another fighter several times, it will eventually explode, which adds another layer of fun when playing with friends. The sound system itself is actually the most interesting part from a technical standpoint. The brick doesn't simply play pre-recorded sounds. Instead, it synthesizes sounds in real time. I know this feature might be controversial for the most pedantic fans out there, but it is actually very impressive. It allows LEGO to create special scenarios, such as movement-dependent sounds, where the sound changes depending on speed. A very good example of that is the cantina band that plays the famous music. To start this scenario, you move the lever to simulate the dance of the band, just like in the film. And the speed of the music changes depending on how fast you move your hand. I find this a very cool feature that could potentially be used very well in themes like racing cars or trains. As for lightsaber battles, the Throne Room set actually reminds me a lot of the Ultimate Lightsaber Duel, a set released in 2005, the same year as the legendary Revenge of the Sith film was released, one of the best Star Wars films ever made. You could even say that those were the predecessors of smart minifigures, because both Obi-Wan and Anakin had lights in their lightsabers. You had to press their heads to activate the lights. Of course, there were no sounds, and pressing minifigures during battle was basically impossible. In the new Throne Room Duel set, there are lightsaber sounds, clash sounds, and light effects from the smart brick. I like these features a lot, and I would be very excited to see more lightsaber duels from the galaxy far, far away. There is one thing that I currently don't like about the Smart Play system, and that is the smart minifigures, more specifically, the sound they generate. Of course, I don't expect a children's toy to play famous quotes from Star Wars films like
"Do it. I am the Senate."
But I also think children today might not really understand the sounds these minifigures are producing. Those sounds come from a different era before those kids were born, the early LEGO Star Wars video games, where full voice acting had not been introduced yet. Honestly, when I first heard about smart minifigures, I expected something closer to the 2005 light-up minifigures with active lightsabers, rather than minifigures trying to imitate speech. But maybe the technology isn't quite there yet, or maybe LEGO will rework them in the future. To sum up, I think the Smart Play system has huge potential for expansion. It could easily find its place in themes like City, Creator, and Speed Champions, as well as licensed themes like Marvel, DC, or even Fortnite. And kids will love it. Smart Play is a great toy for children because it encourages display-free physical play. The models and minifigures actually respond to what you're doing, which is very engaging. Seriously, if I had something like this when I was a kid, I would have been over the moon. Some commentators say that children should just create sounds with their imagination and voice. Those people sound like grumpy grandpas who totally forgot their childhood. When I was growing up 25-30 years ago, if a toy had sound effects, it was automatically cooler than the same toy without sound. And if a toy had other electronics inside, it felt even more special. There were moving toys, radio-controlled toys, and none of that stopped me from using my imagination. And I'm sure it will be the same for modern kids. Interestingly, the first use of RFID technology in consumer toys was also connected to Star Wars. In 1999, Hasbro released action figures from the Phantom Menace that used Comtag RFID chips to play characters' quotes from the films.
At last, we will have revenge.
That technology was developed and patented by two British engineers in 1997. It's quite amazing to see how technology has evolved from that massive RFID reader system to this tiny 2x4 Lego brick with far more capabilities. So the final question we need to answer is this: do smart bricks have any value for adult Lego fans? Right now, I would say not much. There is currently very little customization and not much variety in how they can be used. Although some builders have already started experimenting with smart bricks inside their own creations. You could potentially add them to lightsaber hilts, starships, or other builds. The smart play sets themselves don't really have much display value because they are simplified for active play. But there is still a lot of potential here if LEGO eventually gives adult fans more tools to experiment with. As a final thought, the smart brick itself is genuinely a technological marvel. Some aspects of the current sets feel more like an early experiment than a fully realized concept, but I hope this first wave is only the beginning of the LEGO Smart Play system, because it's genuinely innovative and fun, and it definitely adds something new to LEGO Play. Now, I want to hear in the comments what you think. Is Smart Play the future of LEGO or just another gimmick?